Hi there. It's April the 12th, and we are on day 71, I think, of our Through the New Testament in 1 year. Checking real quick here. Yep, we're on day 71. And we are doing Mark 13. Okay, first 20 verses. It won't take long. Okay, Jesus is back in Jerusalem now and speaking. Foretells the destruction of the temple. As he came out of the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what wonderful stones and wonderful buildings." And Jesus said to him, "Do you see these great buildings? There will not be left one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." Okay? This will later be used against him, of course. Signs of the end of the age. Now, this is important stuff. And as he sat on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew and asked him privately, "Tell us when these things will be, and what will be the sign when all these things are about to be accomplished." And Jesus began to say to them, this is important for today, "See that no one leads you astray. Many will come in my name saying, 'I am he,' and they will lead many astray." Doing that today? You bet. "And when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. This must take place. But the end is not yet. For nation will rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places. There will be famines. These are but the beginning of birth pains." Going through a lot of that right now, huh? "But be on your guard, for they will deliver you over to councils, and you will be beaten in synagogues, and you will stand before governors and kings for my sake, to bear witness before them. And the gospel must first be proclaimed to all nations. And when they bring you to trial and deliver you over, do not be anxious beforehand what you are to say, but say whatever is given to you in that hour, for it is not you who speak, but the Holy Spirit." Got that? "And brother will deliver brother over to death." Excuse me. I got to death, right? "And the father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But the one who endures to the end will be saved." You got that? You will be hated by all for my name's sake. Right? Now today they're trying to dumb down Christianity and make it sweet and flowery and peace. But that's not the way it is, okay? They hated Jesus and they killed him, and they will hate you too, okay? We'll read that again. The abomination of desolation. This is spoken about in the Old Testament. "But when you see the abomination of desolation standing where he ought not to be," let the reader understand, "then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let the one who is on the housetop not go down, nor enter his house to take anything out. And let the one who is in the field not turn back to take his cloak. And alas, for women who are pregnant and for those who are nursing infants in those days. Pray that it may not happen in winter. For in those days there will be such tribulation as has not been from the beginning of the creation that God created until now and never will be." Right? "And if the Lord had not cut short the days, no human being would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, whom he chose, he shortened the days." Right? Is that the rapture? I don't know. But we won't have to live through the whole thing, right? So that's kind of right in the middle, isn't it? Right. And the abomination of desolation, okay, when the temple was destroyed, like you said, 70 years after he died and rose again, the temple was destroyed. And that's the second temple. Okay, the third temple, they're getting ready to build now. Okay. That's not our worry. Okay, we're saved. But when not the Antichrist, but the one that comes after the Antichrist, Satan himself will stand in the new temple and proclaim that he is God, and all who follow him or will be put to death. Okay? And when he does that, that's when he's saying, right, flee to the mountains. Get out of there. Don't stop to collect anything. Just leave. Okay. Now let's read this signs of the end of the age again. This is very similar to Matthew 24. Okay. This is Mark's take on it. Actually, Peter. Okay. Peter is the one who quoted most of this to Mark when he wrote it down. Okay. Tell us when all these things will be and what will be the sign of all these things are about to be accomplished. And Jesus began to say to them, see that no one leads you astray. Many will come in my name saying, I am he. Right? I'm Jesus. There are people out now claiming to be Jesus. Okay. There was a guy over in Africa somewhere, South Africa. Okay. He was a pastor, South African pastor, claimed he was Jesus. I am Jesus reincarnated. And I don't know if this was, in the past couple of years or recently, he had to run because all of the people in his church tried to execute him. Okay. Yeah. They tried to, okay, well, we'll kill you and see if you rise on the third day because we want you to rise on the third day. And he ran. Okay. He ran because he's not Jesus. And there's a lot of people claiming that Jesus speaks to me and he has told me this and the prophets say this. Okay. At the end of the Bible, it says there will be no more prophets. Okay. And if somebody claims to be a prophet, test them. Okay. Every single thing they prophesize has to come true or they are a false prophet. Every single thing, because God speaks to prophets, right? If it's stuff they are making me up, God told me this will happen and it doesn't happen, that's not a prophet. Okay? Just saying. Okay? Everything you need to know is right here in the Bible. Okay? Everything. Okay? So, many will claim to be speaking for Jesus, and he speaks to me, and he told me, you're not good enough for him to speak to you, so he spoke to me for you, right? And even, some religions, I would say one of the largest Christian, quote unquote, religions in the world, thinks that Jesus left, and until he comes back, some person will be put above everybody else and will speak for Jesus, and he can change the rules and change the Bibles. If you know which religion I'm talking about, which doctrine, that's nice, because I'm not going to say it. Okay? But Jesus is here with us until the end of the age, he says. With you always. Okay? That will lead many astray. And when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. Okay? Do you worry about all these wars happening now? I don't worry about them. Says don't be alarmed, so I'm not. Right? This must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes. There are earthquakes. There are floods. There are famines. There is so much going on right now in every country on earth. Okay? Fires, floods, famines, earthquakes. Okay? These are but the beginning of birth pains. Okay? Just the beginning. But be on your guard, for they will deliver you over to councils, and you will be beaten in synagogues, and you will stand before governors and kings for my sake to bear witness before them. Okay? He's talking about the apostles, or anyone who stands up for Jesus, all right? And the gospel must first be proclaimed to all nations, okay? Has it been proclaimed to all nations? I'm not sure. All right? And when they bring you to trial and deliver you over, do not be anxious. I like this part. Do not be anxious beforehand what you are to say, but say whatever is given to you at that hour. For it is not you who speak, but the Holy Spirit. Right? We are filled with the Holy Spirit. Right? Now, I have witnessed this in times of my 60-year walk with Christ. When you are in certain situations and they have you backed into a corner, I've had verses come to me that I don't memorize and say this and say this is in your head, and you repeat what they say, and the Spirit does speak through you, right? And brother will deliver brother over to death, father his child, children will rise against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. Okay? Now, this has happened before, okay, back in World War II. Okay? If you read your history, brothers were turning over brothers, the fathers were turning in their children's were turning in their parents. Okay? It'll be that way again. Okay? When the Antichrist takes over, the mark of the beast and the Revelation stuff happens. Okay? In World War II, brothers turned against brothers. Okay? Then the brothers who were Nazis turned over brothers that were not. The people were, in the Nazi movement. Okay? Some people didn't agree with it. Okay? Brothers turned against brothers. Fathers turned in their fathers that were Nazi sympathizers, turned in their sons. Kids turned in their parents. Okay? And this will happen again. Okay? When it all comes down. But he said, right? For notice there is such tribulation that has not been seen from the beginning of the creation that God created until now. It would be worse than it will ever be. Right? And it never will be that bad again. And if the Lord had not cut short the days, no human being would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, whom he chose, he shortened the days. Okay? Shortened the days. We'll do a study on that sometime. So there is day 71. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, and that's good stuff. I mean, that's stuff for the day. Okay. Okay. I've been waiting for the rapture since I was 12. Okay. And if we are raptured, that's wonderful. If we are taken up, God says Jesus will come down first, call up the dead, and then we will join him in the air. Okay. Cool, huh? Before the tribulation, during the tribulation, I mean, who knows? Okay. It does say the Lord will cut short the days for the elect. That's us, the saints, the Christians, followers. Okay. So there you have it. And we will continue that tomorrow. We'll mark that complete. We'll look ahead a little bit. Okay. And it continues tomorrow. Okay. Mark 13 is like Matthew 24. The whole thing is about the end days. Okay. And tomorrow it's coming of the Son of Man. Right. Lesson of the fig tree. No one knows the day or the hour. Right. And there's no one knows. If somebody says they know when this is happening, they are wrong. Okay. Jesus said even he didn't know. Only the Father knows. So, and if he didn't tell Jesus, he's not going to tell some pastor in Florida, when the end's coming. Okay. So there you go. Give us a like if you think about it. Catch up on anything you may have missed. It's getting exciting now. But tomorrow we'll continue. See you then.